is the perfect filming locale.
You do? How come?
Because out there in TV land, out there in YouTube land, you don't realize that we're looking at the river and the beautiful mountains and the
sunset.
trees. Yeah.
It is pretty nice.
So can you talk a little bit about chutneys and how you like to use them?
Yes. So I like mine with Indian food, and Glenn is a chutney connoisseur. I don't think we ever go to Indian where he doesn't order a side of chutney. So it's really lovely with rice dishes. Chutney and cheese sandwiches are fantastic, like a really soft cheese with a little bit of chutney. You can use it as you would mustard. So if you think about chutney as a mustard, it's got vinegar, it has sugar, it has a lot of spice in it, so you can use them interchangeably. So if you want to use chutney as a marinade, if you want to add it into a salad dressing.
How about at the Thanksgiving table? Like a relish?
As a relish. And I know you love serving it.
Maybe you don't even have to say chutney, you can just present
relish,
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Relish, yeah.
A dried plum relish. An oven roasted plum relish.
That's right. My stepmom makes a curry dinner, and what she does is she'll have all the condiments. Her curry dinner is not really about the curry; it's about all the condiments. So she'll have raisins, dried fruit, the nuts, and chutneys. So the idea being that you take your rice and your curry, and then you take a little bit from each of these of the condiments, and the texture is so nice to have like the varieties of texture.
It's fun to build your own. It's like build your own food. I had a friend that served curry that way, and I always loved it. It was such an event.
And there's like a little Indian serving tray that she has that has all these little dishes on a little
beautiful
serving tray.
That's so cute. She grew up in England?
Mexico.
Oh, that's adorable. Do you have a British nanny? No. That's awesome.
This is my grandmother. And a dozen brothers and sisters.
Yeah. It's cute. She wanted her own little special food. So all of this stuff is prepped. We're just going to add everything into a bowl. These kinds of recipes, they're so simple, but it's really reliant on prep and reducing and increasing flavor, however. So through spices, through these really yummy kind of syrups, you could just put, white sugar, which is what the recipe called for, but it's so much nicer to add that pilloncillo or brown sugar and get a little more molasses. Just increase the flavor where you can.
Exactly, yeah. Every little spot that you can find something with more depth.
Yes. I could have, after yesterday having too much liquid, we could have just reduced the liquid down and taken out a cup of wine and maybe a half a cup of vinegar. But instead, I'm just like, I'm going to use the full amount and reduce the liquid down. So the flavor is really concentrated, but we have less to cook out. If you're using apples in a recipe and it calls for white vinegar, why not use apple cider vinegar? So if you have honey, why not use apple blossom honey?
It just makes it more interesting.
It does. It really does.
Your plum is hanging.
I got a hanging plum. Just made me think of a hanging chad.
We just got political right here.
I've got the oven set at 325 roast, and that seems to be pretty good. Now, one thing that you do want to be kind of mindful in this recipe is the star anise, the cinnamon sticks, and the chilies. I just like to kind of make sure that we have a couple chilies, and they don't have to be the same, but just there's a couple chilies here, there's a couple chilies over here. There's a star anise. I've got one over here, so that's pretty good. There's only three of them.
What is mace? Do you know some details on mace?
Mace it's the outside covering of the nutmeg. So the nutmeg nut that we grind, the soft part, has an actual outer shell that looks kind of like a pecan shell. It's really hard. And then covering that is mace. And mace was probably the fruiting body, whatever it was that, you know, nuts have. And it's delicious. So it tastes a lot like nutmeg, but it's more citrus, fruitier, a little bit softer. I prefer it personally to nutmeg. One of the best tools in the kitchen, probably the best tool, are your hands. And I use mine all the time for scraping out bowls, for transferring liquid. They just work better than anything else. So don't be afraid to wash your hands.
Perfectly designed, ergonomically designed.
They're fantastic. So now that our roasting pans are fairly even, we're going to put them in for an hour and we're going to check it. What we want is we want the plums, they're going to get all nice and dry on the top and be all gooey down in the bottom where that liquid is, and we want the liquid to reduce down. We don't want it to reduce it away, but we want it thick enough that when you take a scoop of this, it's going to be kind of like a thick hold up to your spoon kind of chutney. So this, you can see the plums on the top are all nice and kind of dehydrated a little bit. They're really roasted.
They're really dark and rich looking.
And then the plums on the bottom are still really soft. You can see the individual pieces of apple. If you don't want the chilies in your chutney, you can go ahead and fish them out. I like them in there. I think they're great when you get one. And they lose a ton of their heat, so you don't really have to worry about it too much. At this stage, we're going to cook it another 20 minutes, but if you do see any cinnamon or star anise, go ahead and just grab them out now. You do have to do a little fishing for them sometimes.
Oh, that's
beautiful.
So
I know.
Good.
20 more minutes.
We're almost there.
Thanks for staying.
Yeah.
Mo and I are doing some really late night jamming. Poor Ryan.
It's like 2 in the morning.
It's dark though.
It is dark.
Our chutney has been in the oven for almost 2 hours. So an hour and 40 minutes. It needs about 20 minutes. We checked the set and it's really close. So we're going to reduce the oven temperature down to 250 and put our jars in there. So the last 20 minutes, these guys will sterilize, get nice and hot. We're going to put our lids on in their little pot of water, and we should be able to jam.
And again, I think something that I feel like I've just learned here in the plum making session is 250 is the great temperature to have your jars at, so that when you put your jam in it, it's not too hot that it's going to start boiling and boil over. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've put my jam jars in at 350, filled them with hot jam. Even though my jam was boiling, the jar temperature was so much hotter that it just bubbled out. So
250.
250. It's the magic number.
Mini bubbles.
Woohoo! Hot Mo.
I love the idea that these are bathrooms.
Don't they look like bathroom floor tiles? Okay, so we'll do one at a time just to keep it nice and hot.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Plums lend themselves so nicely to being roasted, and I think you could make a lot of yummy chutneys. You and I were talking earlier about making an onion chutney that was primarily onion with a little apple, and that could be another really good roasted chutney. And there you have it.
There you have it.
Roasted plum apple chutney. Thanks, Mo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Can we go to bed now?
I know. Yes.
Sleepy time. Plum sleepy time.
And there's 2 more. This is the first of 3. Is this the first?
This is the first.
Yeah, the first of 3 recipes that we're going to show you on how to cook from your plum tree.
Yeah. Go meet your neighbors. Go check out their plum trees. Look for plums. Yeah.
People appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And if you like this video, thumbs up. Thumbs up for Mo. You want Mo?
Momo?
Yeah. Awesome. Have a good day. The kitchen lacks a little beauty. Bathroom floor tiles. 1980 mauve.
Brilliant.